Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
A massive brawl in the middle of Greektown caught on video. What Detroit's top officer is pledging to do after a string of violent fights goes viral online. Paula?
Hi, Devin. We are unpacking late-breaking details about that emergency room physician who is accused of sexually mutilating girls. Surprising new details coming out at her hearing today.
All right, Paula. And two Detroit police officers shot investigating a burglary. The alleged shooter in custody, but claims he feared for his life.
We're going to have those stories for you in just a moment. We need to start things off here at 5 with breaking news from Monroe County. You're looking at live pictures from Sky 4 over this massive wreck that is shut down southbound US 23 south of Dundee. And right now we do know one person is dead after a semi-truck carrying steel coils lost part of the load and crushed another car.
This happened on US 23 at mile marker 13 in Summerfield Township. It's a stretch of road with very few exits, leaving traffic at a standstill for miles. Let's get right out to Steve Garagiola live. And Steve, just looking at the pictures, it's a massive amount of wreckage.
Yeah, just a really bad accident happened out here this afternoon, mid-afternoon. Right here is southbound US 23, which, as you can see, quite obviously is closed. And you're right, very few exits along this stretch. We kind of hiked through the woods to get to this position. We're about 100 to 150 yards south of where this crash happened this afternoon. I also want to share some images from the chopper. Here's what we know in the preliminary investigation. Primarily involved is a steel hauler. Preliminarily, it looks like that steel hauler rear-ended a vehicle, pushed that car out of the way, but in doing that, the steel hauler driver had trouble controlling his rig. He swerved, that snapped a cable, and one of those very large and heavy, at least one, steel coils broke loose and crushed another vehicle. We do know right now, confirmed one fatality. A woman from Sylvania, Ohio was killed. We are very close to the Michigan-Ohio border, so presumably she was headed home from someplace in Michigan. We have no information on any other injuries at this time. Again, this is US 23 southbound right here. Clearly it is closed. The truck has now been righted. In fact, you might be able to see it off to the shoulder of the road. As soon as they get that up on a rig, they will pull it away because clearly they want to get US 23 opened again. So if you travel US 23, southbound side is closed. Northbound side continues to move. Where the southbound side very near the Ohio-Michigan border, it is shut down. No indication now when it will reopen, but it will be a while. Reporting live, I'm Steve Garagiola, Local 4.
Okay, Steve, keep us posted. We appreciate it. One Detroit police officer remains in Sinai Grace Hospital tonight after he and his partner were shot while investigating a West Side burglary overnight. In custody, a 19-year-old who allegedly pulled the trigger on a shotgun, fearing for his family's safety. Rod Maloney live now at Sinai Grace. And let's start with how the officer's doing now, Rod.
Yeah, the officers actually are going to be okay, Devin. That is the good news here. But this story really encompasses so much of what ails the city of Detroit. You've got frightened people living in fear after property crime, arming themselves, and then police officers being shot and injured in the process. And in the middle of all of this is a grandfather who merely wanted to help keep his family safe. This 83-year-old Army vet of the Korea era, Isaac Red, is just a guy who wants to protect his family. He lives in Oak Park, just over the Detroit line, near his daughter, who lives in this house with her two children. It's also the one where two Detroit police officers ended up shot last night. It was a burglary earlier last week that scared his daughter and her children half to death.
Yeah, they almost took the back porch door off the frame.
So Isaac, who doesn't want his face shown on TV, gave the family his old shotgun to protect themselves. And he says that he explained how to use the weapon technically and when. But now Isaac's 19-year-old grandson is under arrest and possibly facing criminal charges for pulling the trigger and seriously injuring one of those officers.
It's unfortunate on all sides, but it would be literally cruel. That would be ungodly. That would be ungodly because it was an accident.
Chief James Craig doesn't make the charging decisions. That falls to Prosecutor Kim Worthy. And the chief admitted this is a difficult case.
That young man who fired the shot is extremely remorseful. The mother's remorseful. And so they're very troubled. They just want to make sure the officers are going to be okay.
Now, there were three 911 calls to Detroit police on Easter Sunday about break-ins at this house. Police are saying that they're not certain that there were any break-ins at the house yesterday. That is concerning them. In the meantime, they're putting together a warrant package for this 19-year-old whose grandfather certainly wants to protect him. But at this point, we don't know what that looks like, nor do we know what the prosecutor's office is likely to do. Back
well,
to you.
Rod, what more do we know about the break-in that so frightened the family, apparently?
Yeah, it was one of a series of break-ins, Devin. We're told that there were other break-ins in windows in the house and so forth. We were told that door was taken off the hinges, essentially, and that they were worried because they don't own the house. Yeah. Getting it fixed was an issue, and we wanted to go back and see that door, but the family said no to that, so we didn't get a good look at precisely what that looked like back there. But the police are saying that was really sort of the focal point of all of this, and how this all got started.
Yeah. All right, Ron.
Bullets fly after an attempted break-in on Detroit's west side. A few minutes after noon, police say 3 men tried to break into the back of this home on Gilchrist near the Southfield Freeway. That's when the homeowner fired his handgun to scare the suspects away. The homeowner was not arrested. The suspects, though, remain on the loose.
The Detroit ER doctor charged in a first-of-its-kind case in the U.S. is going to stay in jail pending trial.
Dr. Narga Walla is charged with genital mutilation on 2 girls from Minnesota. Paula Tutman was in court today for the hearing, and Paula, the judge believes she's a flight risk.
Not only that, but a danger to society because they don't believe these are the only 2 victims. They believe there are many, many more. These are just the 2 victims they know of right now. I do need to warn you, the details of this case are very disturbing, very explicit. We've certainly tried to water them down a bit, but they are so onerous, I'm not sure we're actually able to do that sufficiently. The World Health Organization has been fighting the practice of female circumcisions for decades, but it is still practiced in deep secrecy around the world. And according to the U.S. Attorney's Office in Detroit, the metro area is one mecca for the ritualistic practice. Suspect number 1, Dr. Narga Walla, a Henry Ford Health System emergency room doctor who, according to the feds, spent many of her off hours at an unnamed clinic in Livonia performing mutilation procedures on the genitalia of young girls. Leaving federal court today after her detention hearing, 3 men believed to be supporters of Narga Walla.
It's no comment from the family.
The small but growing religious sect is called Anjuman-e-Najmi, or the Dowdy Bora. The followers called Munimines. The young girls, about 7 years old, are told they are getting a procedure that, quote, gets the germs out. The children are sworn to secrecy. Today at her detention hearing, Narga Walla's defense attorney, Shannon Smith, says the reports are grossly mischaracterized, in part because of warring factions of the sect, trying to out one another for archaic practices. Smith told the judge that Narga Walla simply uses gauze to wipe away fluid from the little girl's genitalia, and any signs of scarring or mutilation have come from the children scratching at an irritation. But she also contradicted herself several times in defense of Narga Walla, earlier stating that the physician removed a mucous membrane at the tip of the girl's anatomy, and that it was important to perform the ritual in a sterile environment. The feds say there is evidence that since 2005, Dr. Narga Walla, a practicing member of the sect, has been performing these cuttings or female circumcisions, and in fact became a go-to for female children of the sect from other states, hence the federal charges. So it's important to say that the people who have worked with this emergency room doctor are absolutely shocked by this. I did talk to a spokesperson for Henry Ford Health Systems. They say that she has been suspended, but they will not say with or without pay. They won't make any comment on that. She did want to get out of detainment or custody today. The judge said, oh no, not going to happen. She's got another court hearing later this April. Guys, back to you.
Yeah, and we should point out that that procedure was not done at Henry Ford Hospital, but rather at a clinic at another location. All right, in more news this morning, a mess on I-94 after a tanker truck carrying milk rolled over.
Yeah, the accident closed all the westbound lanes of I-94 near Range Road in Port Huron Township. Since then, all the lanes have since been reopened. You can see what a mess it was earlier today with all the milk there. According to police, the tanker clipped an SUV parked in the right-hand lane of 94, making it overturn, but thankfully no one was hurt. So no use crying? I'll say it, yes.
Oh, goodness, Devin. All right, developing right now. The hunt intensifies for the Cleveland man who murdered an elderly man and posted video of him doing it on Facebook.
There are worries that he could flee to Michigan now, one of 4 surrounding states that have been put on heightened alert. A $50,000 reward is now being offered for the arrest of Steve Stevens as the manhunt now goes nationwide. Steve Stevens, suspected of recording himself executing an elderly Cleveland man on Easter Sunday.
I want to kill this guy right here.
Then posting the video to Facebook. Authorities believe 74-year-old Robert Godwin was selected at random shortly before the murder. Stevens had laid out his motivation for the attack, blaming a woman he was dating.
Being with Joy, she drove me crazy, started making me gamble.
And claiming he'd killed others, although authorities say they have found no evidence of that so far.
We're still employing Steve to turn himself in, definitely to contact a relative or friend.
A plea echoed by his former fraternity brothers.
Please seek help and surrender, because the situation may not end in any other way.
Officials are also enlisting the public in locating Stevens' car, a white Ford Fusion with temporary Ohio tags.
And we're going to make this individual's world very, very, very small.
Meanwhile, the family of Robert Godwin is grieving his loss.
This man right here was a good man.
His son has not watched the video of his death, and Facebook has since removed it. Instead, his son chooses to remember the 74-year-old father and grandfather in happier times. Now, the Better Business Bureau here in Southeast Michigan is warning families about fake GoFundMe sites that popped up right after the Facebook murder video went viral. The family of the victim says they have not yet set up an account, but several have shown up online. If you do want to make a donation, it's suggested that you wait until information is provided by law enforcement.
All right, we have much more ahead here at 5. Priya?
11 years ago, a 6-year-old girl watched her mother murdered in front of her. Now, Dearborn police are bringing that cold case back into the public spotlight.
All right, Priya. Also, there are the massive bills that threaten to sink many small businesses in Detroit. New tonight, what the water department is now planning to do about sky-high drainage fees. Hey there, Ben.
Devin, beautiful way to start a week. Monday looking fantastic. Temperatures staying in the 60s until just about sunset. We will talk about some sprinkles hanging around north and better chances of rain for the week coming up.
Okay, Ben, but first, brand new details into what sparked this brawl in the middle of Greektown. That's coming up next.
The moment. New at 6.
A chaotic scene on Detroit's west side as a car hits a pole and catches fire. New at 6, what witnesses claim they saw inside the car as some rushed to help.
Also, a popular Dearborn bar at risk of losing its liquor license. At 6, why some city leaders say it's too dangerous to stay open.
Well, tonight we're learning brand new details into this brawl caught on video Saturday night in Greektown.
Detroit Police Chief James Craig says this brutal fight was gang-related. We bring in Steve Garagiola. Steve, you talked to the chief about this today.
Well, you know, the chief said the violence in itself is very troubling, but he sees as just as serious a problem is that there were so many people who were just standing around watching, taking videos with their cell phones so that they could post it on Facebook. It wasn't until after the brawl was over that somebody finally called 911. The brawl happened Saturday night just after midnight. This afternoon, Police Chief James Craig says in addition to this video posted to Facebook, police now have security footage from Greektown Casino to help identify the participants in the brawl.
We have those images. We have the images of the vehicles, and we also have the license plates numbers.
One man was seriously injured. He remains hospitalized with a skull fracture after a serious beating. The chief says there are indications this brawl was gang-related.
We know who you are. We're going to get you or arrest you. So do us a favor and turn yourself in.
The chief says it's very troubling that so many people will watch or take video of a crime to post on social media, but won't bother to help by calling 911.
Instead of making a 911 call, you had people going live on Facebook with it, which for me was troubling. Maybe in the future going forward, maybe we should look at the possibility of charging individuals who spectate and watch violence.
Now that would be something very different. I put in a call to the Wayne County prosecutor this afternoon. just to find out what the law is. And as a point of law, there is no requirement for anyone to get involved when they're watching a crime or call 911 or do anything else. You can stand and watch, you can take videos, you can do nothing and just walk away. It may not be right, but it's not illegal. Reporting live, I'm Steve Garagiola, Local 4.
Doesn't seem right at all. All right, Steve. Detroit's water department is preparing to scale back a controversial stormwater drainage fee.
Yeah, this is in response to backlash from businesses and churches that got hit with the hefty $750 per acre monthly charge. The city's Board of Water Commissioners will vote on a plan to reduce the drainage fee to $125 per acre until July, and then phase in increases over the next 5 fiscal years for non-residential customers. A meeting will be held Wednesday at 2 p.m.
Well, what a start to the week.
Not too bad.
Lovely.
Yeah, let's keep it going.
Flirting with 70 with a decent amount of sunshine.
Okay.
What else do you want this time of year? We're going to continue that. In fact, even get warmer as we head towards the middle of the week. The only bad thing that we've got to discuss is the possibility of seeing a couple showers or storms midweek. But let's get through the good stuff first. Temperatures have been getting awfully close to 70 degrees. Toledo and also down in Adrian, you're at 69 degrees. All of these mid and upper 60-degree readings away from the lakes, but you start getting close to the water and you can see these 50-degree temperatures here in the city. Mount Clemens at 53, Macomb Township there 57, and working your way inland, still 60s over here in the northern end of the west zone. But look at what's going on here in Sanilac and St. Clair counties. Current temperatures 44 up in Sandusky, and it's 39 in Port Huron, almost 30 degrees colder there than it is down near the Ohio state line as we speak. Now, there are some showers rolling through our north zone right now. These are very light sprinkles. Most of this is going to stay north of I-69 and should be out of here by about sunset tonight. You can see that we've had some clouds spread a little bit further south across the area, but those areas of precipitation haven't had much luck getting much further south than where they are right now. All of us will have better chances of rain here midweek as a warm front lifts north. Tomorrow will be dry. Once we get into Wednesday, right here in the afternoon hours, kind of sandwiched between that cold front and the northern parts of Ohio, that's where we're going to be looking for showers and a few thunderstorms to pop in the afternoon and early evening. And some of those could be on the strong side. Once we get into Thursday, this boundary is going to pretty much hang here. So when we get into the afternoon and see those temperatures warm up again, it looks like we could have another round of showers and storms. This one a little bit more area wide as we get into Thursday. But Wednesday, the severe risk is marginal, at least for our corner of our south and possibly west zone. So if you're out in Lenawee or Washtenaw County, that's where we'll be watching for some of these storms to at least see wind gusts maybe topping 50 miles an hour plus as those storms start to form again on Wednesday afternoon. Tonight, 42, just an early shower north. Most of us stay dry tomorrow, mostly sunny skies. Temperatures much cooler on the east side. You saw that difference today of 30 degrees between the Lake Huron shoreline and the south zone. And when you look at highs tomorrow, we're going to be seeing about 58 in the city, mid to upper 60s out towards 275. South zone tomorrow, a couple spots may see the 70s in some of those same areas, and then we'll see 50-degree temperatures towards Lake Erie tomorrow. West zone temperatures, everybody's in the 60s there, and a big difference in our north zone where we'll be seeing 40-degree numbers out towards the Huron shoreline. So we'll get up to 73 Wednesday and then see temperatures come back a little bit, staying right around average for this time in April. And we're looking for a mainly dry weekend. Could see a few more showers and storms by Sunday.
Not too bad a stretch at all.
Not really.
All good.
Okay, Ben. A tragedy unfolding tonight in Muskegon. New at 5, a 1-year-old child was killed at a daycare center, and you won't believe who police think did it.
But first, a race against the clock. Why the state of Arkansas is fighting tooth and nail to execute 8 people over the next few days. We'll be right back. The legal battle over an unprecedented string of executions in Arkansas continues right now, just hours before the first of as many as 8 death row inmates is scheduled to die.
The executions are still on hold as of right now, waiting on a decision from a federal judge reviewing the case. Lawyers for the inmates scheduled to die have called the situation, quote, assembly line killing. But the state continues its fight in multiple courts because a key sedative used in lethal injections expires at the end of this month. Oakland University is moving closer to naming a new president. The school's board of trustees did not renew the contract of current president George Hind. That contract ends in August. 2 finalists for the post have been selected. One of them, Carl Camden, president and CEO of Kelly Services, is visiting the campus today. The second candidate will be announced tomorrow. The outgoing president's contract had a salary of $400,000 annually.
April the giraffe and her newborn calf are doing very well. On Saturday, April gave birth to a healthy male at the privately owned Animal Adventure Park in New York before an online audience of more than 1 million viewers. The calf does not have a name yet, but the animal park is holding a contest on its website for people to suggest and vote for their favorite names. It does cost $1 per vote, but the proceeds go to help the animals and local children too.
Believe it or not, Devin, I watched after giving it a hard time last week. I watched like 2 hours of it.
Fantastic.
Okay, speaking of animals, pets, giraffes, it's a big day for us here at Local 4. Today we're rolling out the All for Pets. It's a station-wide effort to bring Metro Detroit animal lovers together, and it all starts right here with our special All for Pets section on clickondetroit.com. And here we'll be posting stories about pet health, animal rescues, and special local events. You can check it out right now. Just go to our website, clickondetroit.com/pets.
New at 5:30.
More tough talk between the U.S. and North Korea. So what are the developments today? I'm Blaine Alexander. I'll have the very latest coming up from Washington.
The police chief says it's the worst case he's ever seen. A 1-year-old child killed at a Michigan daycare center, and you won't believe who they say did it.
She was just 6 years old when her mother was gunned down in front of her.
There's not a day that goes by not missing my mother.
11 years later, that cold case back in the public spotlight. What Dearborn police want you to know.
Next week.
We have some breaking news to tell you about out of South Lyon. That's where a 2-year-old little boy has been run over by a lawnmower. It happened this afternoon on Pheasant Lake Road near 10 Mile. We are told that the boy's grandparent was operating the lawn tractor and says the little boy ran out in front of him and he couldn't stop in time. The boy suffered serious leg injuries and is being treated at C.S. Mott Children's Hospital. We're working to get more information, and as soon as we do, we'll pass it along to you.
All right, now to a case that has gone cold. A woman killed more than a decade ago right outside of her Dearborn home. And now police and Crime Stoppers teaming up in hopes of breathing some new life into this case. Making matters even more devastating for the family, that victim's 6-year-old daughter was sitting in the car as she was gunned down.
That's just horrible. And today, Dearborn police and Crime Stoppers are teaming up to get this killer behind bars once and for all. Priya Mann is following the story for us tonight, and she joins us live. Priya, are there any new leads that police are following in this?
Well, Kimberly, police say that there have been a lot of advancements in technology and that the very nature of police work has changed over the past decade. But what hasn't changed is investigators' commitment to this case.
It was like yesterday, and it feels like it just happened. I don't think we're ever going to forget that.
17-year-old Iman Al-Jahami was just 6 years old when her mother was killed in front of her.
I remember a lot of things about that day, and some very small details, but it's stuff that I'd never want to talk about because it's really hard to talk about.
Iman was sitting in a parked car when her mother was fatally shot outside their Dearborn home. 28-year-old Anissa Al-Jahami was killed 11 years ago, and time has not eased the pain.
Very hard to explain what I feel, what my family's been through.
Today, Dearborn police and Crime Stoppers are bringing the cold case back into the public eye. No arrests were ever made, and the case still haunts investigators.
And I know that this case still bothers them. 11 years of replaying this in her mind, that really empowered us a little bit more.
Police and a grieving family hoping someone comes forward.
I hope that if they do know something that they call, because any little bit of information could help. And we all want this case to close.
Iman's mom was a computer technician at Dearborn Public School District. She's following in her mother's footsteps and wants to become a computer engineer. Crime Stoppers offering a $2,500 reward for information that leads to an arrest. That's $3,500 if that information comes in by midnight. Reporting live from Dearborn, I'm Priya Mann, Local 4.
So Priya, we know the victim was divorced. Was her ex-husband ever considered a suspect in this?
Well, we know he was interviewed extensively. We also know there was a very contentious custody battle. Dearborn police only saying at this time it was not a random shooting. The victim knew her killer.
Unbelievable. Okay, Priya, thanks. All right, across Michigan this Monday, stories from the state capitol in Lansing and Jamestown Township over on the west side of the state.
But let's start in Muskegon, and that is where an 8-year-old girl has been named as a suspect after an infant was found unresponsive at a home daycare center late last week. The baby is identified as 1-year-old Corey Brown. His mother says she dropped her children off at Keisha Keepers Thursday night, and when she arrived to pick them up after work on Friday morning, her son was unresponsive in a pack and play. It is unclear still what exactly happened to Corey, since a 5-year-old right now is the only known witness.
I want to know why, who did it, why nobody was there to stop it or prevent it from happening.
An investigation into the daycare and the kids there is underway. An autopsy scheduled to determine exactly how Corey died.
Staying on the west side of the state, an 11-year-old girl is recovering after being hit by a stray bullet. It happened Saturday in Jamestown Township, that's south of Grand Rapids. Deputies say a group was out shooting targets when one shooter missed. That stray bullet struck the girl who was outside playing in her yard. The girl was hit in her upper body. She underwent surgery yesterday. No charges have been announced as an investigation continues. Well, parts of 5 Michigan counties are now deemed potential risk areas for bovine tuberculosis.
Counties are in Iosco, Oscoda, Presque Isle, and Roscommon. The Department of Agriculture and Rural Development says at least 4 deer that tested positive for bovine TB were found in those counties. This designation, though, means all cattle and all bison herds within a 6-mile radius of where the deer were found have to be tested now for the disease, and it's a disease that can be deadly for animals. An investigation into a suspicious house fire is underway on Detroit's west side.
This was the scene this morning on Tracy Street at Midland, which is near Puritan. Initial reports said the house may have been firebombed. No injuries were fortunately reported there, and no arrests have been made. It's all still unclear if anyone had been living at that home.
Today, tension continues between the U.S. and North Korea, but the two sides are backing down from the brink after a failed North Korean missile test over the weekend, or are they? Depends on who you ask. The White House signaling it may be more willing to work with China to help defuse the North Korean situation. Blaine Alexander explores how tough talk continues from leaders on both sides. Blaine?
Well, Devin, the White House says when it comes to North Korea, nothing is off the table. And we heard a grim warning from that nation's ambassador to the UN, saying that the U.S. may be pushing the region to the brink of nuclear war. Today, President Trump and the First Lady hosting hundreds of children for the White House Easter egg roll. But even during the light holiday tradition hangs the heavy weight of foreign policy. The White House now signaling it is leaning on China to help ramp down North Korea, but holding all options open.
I don't think that you're going to see the president drawing red lines in the sand, but I think that the action that he took in Syria shows that when appropriate, this president will take decisive action.
Today at the United Nations, North Korea's ambassador blaming the U.S. for escalating tensions.
The DPRK is ready to react to any mode of war desired by the American.
North Korea, instead of a nuclear test, opting for a less provocative medium-range missile, which exploded seconds after launch, an embarrassing failure.
Even though it was a failed test, it's still a test, and it still helps them learn the capabilities.
The vice president in South Korea on a previously planned trip, doubling down on the president's message.
The era of strategic patience is over.
And literally staring down the rogue nation, Pence visiting the demilitarized zone dividing North and South Korea, staring across the border as North Korean soldiers, unflinching, stared back. And another big topic during today's White House briefing was the president's tax returns, which the administration says he still does not plan to release. In Washington, Blaine Alexander, Local 4.
Okay, Blaine, thank you. Well, this morning, Supreme Court Justice Neil Gorsuch asked several questions during arguments on his first day on the bench. The new justice took less than 15 minutes before asking questions during the first case. Gorsuch and his colleagues were hearing cases for the first time since President Donald Trump's pick was sworn in April 10th. The court is back to its full contingent of 9 members after being shorthanded since Justice Antonin Scalia's death more than 14 months ago. All right, well, we are just entering the peak of tornado season in the central U.S. here.
And some did touch down over the weekend. One, in fact, caught on video.
Yep.
We're just actually entering the season, and yet we've already seen a lot of trouble, haven't we?
Especially south, and now that's starting to work up here. We got this video from a TV station's storm chasers. You know this. They have paid storm chasers out there in the Central Plains. They got some spectacular footage.
Not paid enough, I'll tell you that.
No, that's true. That is definitely true. This tornado touched down in the village of Dunbar. That's about an hour south of Omaha. It was only on the ground for a short time. But more importantly, it appears to touch down in a completely rural area. No reports of any damage from this twister, but it's just an amazing picture. Take a good look at it, because I want to talk about what tornadoes actually look like in the wild. This is the beginning of Severe Weather Awareness Week here in Michigan. And not only do tornadoes look like what you saw in the video, they can be those straight tubes, they can taper from a wide to narrow like a huge funnel, and they can be a very wide range in colors, from black, gray, white, or believe it or not, invisible. They take on the color of whatever they suck up as they're rolling across the terrain. So that's important to note as we go through this week. And of course, we'll be talking more about severe weather awareness for the rest of the week.
That was such a clear, high-def shot. It was
really. It was
really some kind of video.
And you know this, out there in the plains, they see these a lot of times without precipitation.
Right.
Here, we usually see those rain-wrapped a lot, so we never see
pictures like that. All right, Ben. Well, United Airlines is changing its policy, good idea, for moving passengers from fully booked flights.
United says it will no longer allow crew members to displace passengers who are already on board an aircraft. Instead, crew members will now have to book a seat at least an hour before the flight's departure. The policy change comes after Dr. David Dow was dragged off a United flight last week because he refused to give up his seat for a crew member.
Firefighters in Florida pull off a pretty incredible rescue.
Ahead here at 5:30, how a horse got so stuck in the mud, it took an entire team to get it out.
Also, the warning signs were there. New tonight, what newly unsealed documents reveal about the death of Prince.
But first, a stark reality in the fight against Alzheimer's disease. Why many researchers now think the effectiveness of experimental drugs is all about timing. That's next.
Local 4 is dedicating tomorrow to focus on living with food allergies. At 4 p.m., how families overcome the challenges of traveling with food allergies. Dr. McGeorge.
Thanks, Karen. Progress is being made in the fight against food allergies. At 5 p.m., I'll show you the new research that could soon make life easier for some people living with food allergies. Hank?
Thank you, Dr. McGeorge. Then at 6 o'clock, we're taking you inside the kitchen, showing you how restaurants are now better prepared to deal with food allergies. You'll also meet the local mom who is the force for big change. Karen?
Thanks, Hank. So make sure to join us on Facebook Live and clickondetroit.com for our Q&A with a food allergy doctor and parent. We answer your questions online tomorrow at 1 p.m.
Jeopardy is new at 6.
I'm Nick Monticelli. Brand new tool here at the Macomb County Sheriff's Department. It's a body camera. The deputies love it, but there's something that you should know about them when you're interacting with a deputy.
All right, Nick, also in good health, the mistakes parents keep making when it comes to giving allergy medication to children.
But first, in good health, it's a startling statistic. Of all experimental drugs, about 1 in 10 ever makes it to the market. But when it comes to Alzheimer's disease, that number is 1 in 244. In spite of a huge research effort, science is still struggling to stop Alzheimer's from ravaging minds and memories. More than 5 million Americans are thought to have Alzheimer's today, and if nothing changes, that number is expected to triple by the year 2050.
Already, $1 in $5 of Medicare and Medicaid goes to Alzheimer's. As 71 million baby boomers like I head toward the risk age, it's going to go to 1 in 3 and then $1 in $2. And then Alzheimer's will single-handedly collapse our healthcare system. Will single-handedly collapse Medicare and Medicaid.
The prevailing theory is that plaque buildup in the brain, known as amyloid plaques, are to blame. But in one clinical trial after the other, targeting amyloid plaques has failed to affect the disease.
Efforts have been made to effectively remove amyloid from the brain or change its metabolism, and none of those pathways have improved patients' cognition, lifestyle. Trial
failures most recently included one from Merck in February and Eli Lilly in November. Eli Lilly has spent more than $3 billion and 2 decades on Alzheimer's disease to no success. Many in the field believe those failures may have been due to timing.
What we've realized in Alzheimer's disease is that the disease process itself in the brain begins, somewhere between 10 and 20 years actually before neurons actually die.
And experts say that means it's critical to find a way to figure out who is at high risk for, or even in the earliest stages of Alzheimer's disease much earlier, and to determine if any of the drugs already developed could be effective if used sooner. But clearly a long way to go in this battle against fighting this devastating disease.
So many people waiting for the answer.
Indeed, yeah. All right, well, a horse in Florida is free to roam again after being rescued this morning from the mud.
Firefighters say the horse named Skip got himself stuck in the mud up to his belly. Rescue crews sedated him. In fact, that's how bad it got. Had to sedate him to get him out, but then used hand tools and a pulley system to get the horse out of the mess. Officials say 25-year-old Skip later evaluated by the vet and doing just fine. Made it to 20.